To clear my father's mountain of debt, I, a nameless painter, sold myself to a dark fate under the pouring rain in a cold law office. The Ravenwood seal, a mark of ancient power and blood, waits for my signature on the heavy parchment. As the thunder rumbles outside the old building, I knew once I signed this paper, my life would never be my own again. Yet for my family, I would walk into the lion's den. Standing in this white dress felt more like a funeral shroud than a celebration, reflecting a girl who was about to vanish into the shadows. My dreams as an artist were being left behind, replaced by a contract that bound my soul to a man known only as a reclusive billionaire. As the gates of Ravenwood groaned shut behind me, the world I once knew disappeared, leaving me at the mercy of a legend built on fear. The mansion breathed with a heavy, ancient air, its grand halls filled with the scent of old paper and the weight of secrets kept for generations. I felt like a ghost haunting my own life, walking through a maze where every corner seemed to hide a story the walls were afraid to tell. The ancestors of this house watched me with cold, judging eyes, as if questioning whether I was worthy of the sacrifice I was about to make. Everything here was magnificent, yet lonely, a gilded cage built of knowledge and wealth that served only to insulate its master from the outside world. Every object I touched felt heavy with history, a testament to a family that had everything but the one thing they truly needed: a heart. At the end of the hall lay the room of the master, a place where no one dared to enter without a direct summons from the billionaire. The servants moved like silent spirits, their eyes filled with a quiet sympathy that chilled me to the bone. Am I just another sacrifice to him? The room was a sanctuary of darkness, warmed only by the dying embers of a fire that struggled to keep the encroaching winter chill at bay. There he sat, the man who owned my future, Alistair Ravenwood, a figure of power and mystery, hidden behind a mask of silk and silence. His beauty was sharp enough to cut, a cold perfection that made him seem more like an ancient god than a man of the modern world. I approached him with my heart pounding against my ribs, a tiny moth, drawn to a flame that I knew could consume me in an instant. He didn't need eyes to see me. He could feel my fear, my breath, and the very rhythm of my life as I entered his dark domain. "Did you come here to fulfill the covenant?" he asked, his voice a low growl that vibrated through the floor and straight into my soul. His words were cold, yet there was a hidden depth to his tone that suggested a pain far greater than any I had ever known before. The nights at Ravenwood were never peaceful. The wind carried whispers of the past, and the garden seemed to hide monsters in its tangled vines. I found the first signs of danger in the trash-hateful letters demanding his blood, proof that Alistair was a man marked for death by unknown enemies. Someone was watching us, a predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike at the heart of the Ravenwood legacy and end his bloodline forever. He appeared like a guardian from the dark, sensing the intruder with an uncanny accuracy that defied logic. He was ready to kill for my safety. In an explosion of glass and violence, the truth was revealed. This marriage was not a prison, but a fortress designed to keep me alive. "Stay down," he commanded. His heart beat strong against my back, a steady drum of protection in a world that had suddenly turned so deadly. He was a warrior fighting a war he couldn't see, defending a woman he barely knew against ghosts that were very, very real and close. When the sun began to rise, the violence faded into a heavy silence, leaving us alone in the debris of a night that changed everything. For the first time, he let me see the scars he carried. His eyes, though clouded, held a vulnerability that broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. "This is your freedom," he whispered, He had rewritten the contract into a will that ensured my safety and fortune, even if he were gone. He had known me long before the debt. He had watched me from the shadows of his own world, admiring the light I brought to mine. The billionaire I feared was actually my greatest protector, a man who had sacrificed his own peace to give me a chance at a life. "I don't want freedom if it means leaving you," I told him. In that moment, the ice around his heart finally began to melt away. The darkness that once defined Ravenwood was gone, replaced by a warmth that breathed new life into every corner of the ancient stone mansion. I returned to my art, but now my colors were bright and full of hope, capturing the soul of the man who saved my very existence. We danced in the light of a new day, no longer bound by a cruel covenant, but by a choice to face the future together. He was the billionaire of shadows, and I was the painter of light. Two broken souls who found a perfect harmony in each other's company. Our covenant in the darkness had become a vow under the sun, a promise to always find the light, no matter how deep the shadows.